Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the full review on my ABC Lady Dior in this fard color. I had a good laugh about this in my earlier video if you watched it. I have such a juvenile sense of humor apparently. Fard, F-A-R-D, basically means blush in French. So this is the blush color. I think it is listed as blush on the US website, but the official color is fard. Yeah, and this is the small size in the ABC design, and it has the shiny champagne gold hardware, and the leather here, it is lambskin, but it is more of that matte lambskin. There's also the ultra matte version that many of you may be familiar with. Now that was quite eye-catching as well, but I had a little bit of a hesitation regarding the hardware because the hardware, if you've seen, is also quite matte, meaning it matches the matteness of the leather, and so I don't know if over time that would chip or peel or, you know, have some wear and tear that this sort of traditional hardware wouldn't have. So I wanted to stick to this. And also when I put this on in the store, I love the contrast. I love the contrast of the champagne gold hardware against the matte blush lambskin. So this is the one that I chose. For those of you who've been here before, a while back I had talked about trying on the Lady Dior's back in Italy when I was traveling a couple of years ago with my daughter. And I was very close to picking up a mini size, but I thought that the chain that it comes with, this one comes with a leather strap, which I will show you. The chain that it came with was a little bit not my taste, and I also wasn't sure about the size because it was quite mini and it was difficult to get in and out of. So this one, again, in the small size is quite perfect for me. I'll give you a twirl. This video is going to be jam-packed with all the information that I can share. I've had this now for a little while, not too long, but I have had a chance to wear her out a few times. And this is my one and only Dior bag and my one and only Lady Dior. So I have a very kind of fresh perspective on this bag. And there are a lot of pros, but there are also quite a few cons. So I'm going to just very honestly go through all of them. I will also be weighing this bag because someone had asked me, is it heavy? And I didn't realize or notice it to be heavy, and I'm quite picky about the weight of my bags. I weigh all of my bags. If you noticed, I have lots of videos where I weigh my bags. And yeah, this is a little bit heavier than expected, so I will weigh it for you, and I'll also compare it with some of my other bags just so you can get a reference. So yeah, this is the Lady Dior. Let me open it up. I just have my blush pink throw pillow here as a prop because I think not all blush colors are created equal, right? And as you can see here against the pillow is much more pink. And I think that the Dior blush is much more, maybe because it's the matte leather, but it has more of like a milky color to it and slight beige brown undertones. So it's not quite as like a pop of pink. So as you can see, and this is all natural lighting, of course. I don't use any artificial lighting. I think you all know that by now. Here's the charm. I love the tactile feel, and I love the sound of the charms. And apparently Christian Dior was quite superstitious, and he liked to put charms on things because he felt that it warded off evil spirits. So interesting backstory there. I do use a piece of the Dior ribbon to keep the handles up when I store the bag inside the dust bag because otherwise the handles will flop. So let me just undo this and let me show you. Okay, so there you go. But the cool thing is, I think many of us know this already, I think the details on the Lady Dior bags are just so special and so intricate. So when you let the handles fall, it creates a C and a D for Christian Dior. So aside from this little detail and the charm and this beautiful quilting, there's also a nice little touch on the strap. So here's the flap. Now some of you may think that the flap is annoying. I will get to that in a minute. Here is the strap, and it is adjustable. It's got 3 holes on one side as well as 3 holes on the other side. So it is adjustable based on your height. I happen to be a little shy of 5 feet 6 inches tall, and I have it on the middle hole on each side, and I can wear this comfortably crossbody. I can also wear it on one shoulder. So it works. So what I wanted to share earlier was, in addition to the little details on the handle and the charm, there's also the charms that you receive with the ABC Lady Dior. So you do receive 3 charms complimentary, and you get to choose them, and they had quite a selection. So I chose these, and I showed these in my earlier video, but I chose a dragonfly. Dragonflies, you may know, represent transformation and change, and I just think they're so pretty too. They're just such cool creatures. But who's not going through some kind of change or evolution or transformation, right? That's all part of life. So I love the symbol that the dragonfly represents. So I chose this one. I chose a heart to represent love. And then this is a lion because I happen to be a Leo, and I also am very fascinated by lions in general. So I chose these 3, and they have a little bit of bling on them, so I thought they were really pretty. And so when I wear this crossbody, it goes kind of across my body from the front, so it's really pretty. So yeah, lots of pretty details. You can see here that the strap is about a full inch in width, so it's very comfortable. And I'm going to show you. The clip goes on the outside, on each side. So one here. Okay, let me just show you really quickly, and then I'll take it off. So one would go here, for example, and then diagonally, you would put the other one on the outside of the other side. And I keep emphasizing the outside because if you don't do that, if you clip them on the inside here, your handles will flop when you're wearing this on your shoulder or crossbody, which can be terribly annoying. So if you put them on the outside, as I just showed you, you can see here, let's say it's being pulled like this on your body. Because these are on the outside, they kind of keep the handles together. Does that make sense? So I think that's an important little trick. Otherwise, you might try it, and maybe the straps would be clipped onto the other side, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, these handles are so cumbersome, they're flopping all around. But no, they don't flop down at all, actually, if you hook it like this. So definitely want to show you that. So let me get into some of the pros, some of the aspects of the bag that I absolutely love, and some of the cons. Okay, so just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to put this down, put the stripe down. Okay, so let's start with the pros, right? Because we all want to do the fun stuff first. So right off the bat, one of the pros is that, to me, this is a classic. This is an iconic piece. It is the piece that everyone recognizes from Christian Dior. If you're going to get one bag from Dior, I would say it's this one, right? For me, at least, it's this one. I'm more than happy with just this one, and I'd be happy if I weren't able to get any other Dior bag ever again. Like, this one is the epitome of Dior, in my opinion. It is called the Lady Dior because Princess Diana, the late Princess Diana, wore this bag, and they renamed the Lady Dior on her behalf. So it has a lot of rich history there, and it is just very unique in its design, like the quilting, the handles, the charm, all the little details. As I said, nothing went unnoticed. I feel like it was just really, really thoughtfully designed, and you can spot this from a mile away. So I do think it's a timeless classic if you're into classics. I tend not to get into trends. I'm not a fashionista or a very trendy person, so I'm always very oblivious to trends or quite late to trends, and a lot of times I'm just not drawn to them. So if you're looking for a classic like myself, then I do think that the Lady Dior is a great option. And the size, the ABC small size, is also really great, and I'll show you what fits inside in a minute. So other than that, I do think it's also a very versatile bag, just from a practicality standpoint, because you can wear this top handle, you can wear this crook of the arm, you can wear this with the strap, crossbody or shoulder. You can just have the strap dangling down almost as an embellishment when you hold this in your hand. You can also play around with this and put different straps or chains on it, like a guitar strap or some really shiny, pretty chain. Like, you can really play with this, and I love versatility. If you know me, you know that I love practicality, but also versatility. So I would say that's another pro. And if you noticed, there are 4 feet at the bottom. And we handbag lovers, we love having feet because it protects our bag. When we put this down somewhere, The leather doesn't touch the surface and it rests on the feet. So it's a really nice added touch from a design standpoint. However, actually, I won't jump into the cons. I won't jump into the cons until a little bit later. Let me just keep going with the pros. Okay, another thing I want to note is that the lambskin is quite nice. It's quite soft, but also feels much more durable compared to some other lambskin. I actually did a video recently showing all of my lambskin bags. I will link it up above somewhere here if you missed it. And I talk about the durability of the different lambskins and my honest thoughts. And so I do think that Dior has managed to strike a great compromise between beautiful, supple lambskin with durability. Like, it's not super sensitive, fragile, easily scratched up and dinged up lambskin. So kind of have to feel it and touch it for yourself to know, but I do think it's a really nice lambskin that they use. I do also love, specifically with the ABC Lady Dior, the customization. I think this is really fun to be able to customize with the charms that you choose. There's plenty of space here. I kind of spaced them out to be in the middle, but if you wanted to add charms like once a year or for a special occasion or initials for people you love or your own initials, there's plenty of space here. You can probably put another 3 or so. So I do think that the personalization is really fun and kind of sets this version apart from the other Lady Diors that they have in the collection. So I'm actually going to roll this up and put this in the bag so that I can get a true weight. I want to weigh the bag for you guys. And I always try to include the strap because that's part of the weight unless you're going to be using this only handheld. So let's try this. Oh, I also love that it's the flap instead of the zipper model, because I think the zipper is quite short on a bag that's this size and it's hard to get in and out without scratching the back of your hands. So I prefer the flap. I like the discretion, meaning it covers all of your belongings. If you happen to drop your bag or it gets knocked over, heaven forbid, your items won't come spilling out. So I do like it. So, okay, this is the entire bag with the strap. Let me get my little trusty scale. Okay. Okay, so again, this is with the strap inside the bag, and it's coming in at 1 pound, 9.7 ounces. So it's a little bit heavier than 1.5 pounds. Still fine for me. You guys know if you've been here before, 2 pounds is my maximum, like my absolute maximum when it's empty. So it still works for me, but it is 1 pound, 9.7 ounces. Just to give you an idea, I also have my other bags here that you may want to use as a reference point. So here's my Chanel Classic Flap. This is also fairly new to me. I did a what fits in my bag on this recently on my channel. This one is caviar, so it's going to be heavier than lambskin, but let's just put her down. There's nothing in the bag at the moment, it's empty. So the Classic Flap medium size is coming in at 1 pound, 5.9 ounces. So a few ounces lighter than the Dior. So I don't know, does that surprise you guys? Let me know in the comments if that's a surprise or if you were expecting that. And then I also have my mini rectangle in this caramel. And I did a whole video talking about how I managed to score this and what the whole process is like, the drama behind it, the twists and turns behind it, and all kinds of like tips and tricks if you are trying to get a hard to find seasonal item, especially for the new collection coming up. So if you missed that video, go check it out. So this one is a small little mini one. So, and it doesn't have the double flap like the classics. So yeah, it's much lighter. Can you see? It's 14.5 ounces, so it's under 1 pound. But I just wanted to share the different weights for each of these so you can kind of get a sense, because weighing just one sometimes doesn't give you enough context. So here are the colors. Oops. They're all quite different, the colors. The shades are in the same family, but quite different. Just show you really quickly since I have these out. Okay. Okay, and then for those of you who are interested in the weight of this bag without the strap, I'll also do that really quickly. Okay. So without the strap, it is 1 pound, 4.9 ounces, so closer to the Chanel Classic Flap. So now let me jump into some of the cons. And there aren't many. I do think this is a beautiful bag, and I'm really happy to have her. But there are some cons. So for starters, the price is quite high. It is currently $4,700 US retail. So that's what I paid, $4,700 plus tax, so over $5,000. Now, compared to the classic flaps in the boutique, this may seem like a steal. It may seem like it's quite affordable comparatively because this is now $6,800 plus tax. So there's that. But if you compare this to other designers and other top handle bags, like my Givenchy Antigona, which I don't have in front of me, the mini size, that one was under $2,000. So, you know, it's all relative. So the price is quite high, and there were a couple of price increases. I do think, if I had purchased one of these in Italy, I could have saved well over $1,000, definitely at least $1,000 at the time, probably much more, maybe $2,000. But I wasn't ready. I didn't find the right one, and I don't know if this color was available at the time. This color is really what spoke to me. I don't think I would have walked out of the Dior boutique with a purchase if I hadn't seen this specific color. You know, sometimes a color just grabs you. So anyway, the price is a bit high. In addition to that, a real con is that, unfortunately, Dior bags in general tend not to hold their value. They just don't for some reason. They're like cars. As soon as you drive them off the lot, they're worth less. I don't know why that's the case. It's not like that with Chanel, at least the classics. It's definitely not like that with the Hermes bags, at least the B's and the K's. But I guess if you think about it, well, Louis Vuitton holds their value quite well. Goyard, I understand, holds their value as well. But Gucci does not. Givenchy probably does not. Celine also doesn't hold their value very well at all. So you can get some really great pre-loved purchases on the resale market. So my point is, if you're going to get a Lady Dior, you want to get it knowing you're going to keep it for a long, long time and enjoy it for many, many, many years to get kind of like the cost per wear and the value out of it. Because if you decide, you change your mind, let's say after 6 months, and you think, it's not working for me, it's going to be very hard to get your money back. You're probably going to lose a good chunk of money. So be really thoughtful before you purchase a Dior bag. That's one thing I really want to say. What else? Oh, the feet. That's what I was almost going to jump into earlier. So I love the feet, but as you can see, the feet are like little pyramids. They're rounded, they're not sharp, but they're not like sturdy. So if you plop this down, especially when the bag is empty, it can tip over easily. Like there isn't a whole lot of balance because the surface area is very, very small at the tips. If the bag is full with your items, there's just more gravity to hold it down, so it's not an issue. But when it is empty, especially when you store it, so I put it in the dust bag, and then I put it on my shelf in my closet, and sometimes it will tip and I'll have to catch it. So I do wish that these feet were a little bit flatter and had a slightly different shape to them so that they would sit. See, even now it's a little bit wonky. Yeah, so that's a tiny little con. The floppy handles, as I had mentioned earlier, when you hook the strap on the outside and you wear it, it's fine. But when you store it, or you just put it down when you're out, I mean, this is cool, the C and the D, but you don't want your bag sitting like this when you're out, like at dinner, right? So when I store it, like I said before, I do tie a little ribbon around it to hold it up. But I do think it's a bit of a con that it flops so easily. Just in general, it's not a deal breaker, but I do love the sounds though. I love the sounds that the handles make. I'm also the type of person that likes the squeakiness of the Chanel classic chains too. So if you're with me, you understand. Okay, and then the only other thing that could be a con is this flap. So I do think it's a pro and a con. I like that it covers my belongings, but it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a moment, it takes a moment to get in and out. And if you do have really long nails, my nails are like medium length, then you might wind up scratching them up quite a bit over here, scratching up the leather. But I think that scratches on the leather, especially lambskin, and scratches on the hardware, even on the charm eventually, are inevitable. So something you just want to accept early on. At least for me, that's how I feel. So yeah, not many cons. I can't think of anything else other than that. Like I said, it's a beautiful, iconic, gorgeous bag. This color really speaks to me. I'm going to show you what fits inside. It actually fits a lot, even though this is the small size. So here's the inside. It's all black interior, and it's got this zipper component, which I haven't used. So let's just get started. So this is the Louis Vuitton mini pochette. Easy. My phone case. Easy. Key pouch. Very easy, right? My card holder. Now, I probably wouldn't use the black one because it goes into this black hole, and then, you know, it's kind of hard to spot. I'd probably switch it out for my red one, but it's very easy. And then even if you have this, I still have this. I still have not used this up. This Big Egg Chanel hand cream. It fits very easily. See, look. Isn't that funny? Okay. And then what I love is that I've got this long, flat pouch that holds my Louis Vuitton sunglasses. I've shown this so many times. If you have not seen it, it folds like this. So it's really flat, and then the pouch is really long. But it fits. It fits horizontally like this. It fits. So I would probably put these down flat. Lay them flat so that this doesn't stick up. So I would just, so there you go. And then I would close it up. Isn't that cool? I also have this is the only other thing that I own from Dior. I have my Dior sunglasses. I bought these in Italy, the same boutique where I tried on the mini Lady Dior, and I almost bought one. These are the studded Lady Dior sunglasses. I rarely wear these, but I know they're really cool. They're really pretty. The case is a little hard, but these would fit as well. See? So yeah, any normal sunglasses that are not huge will fit. Now, I just want to see, now I'm curious with it full, and you could probably put more stuff in there, like a lipstick and some tissues and hand sanitizer. So without the strap, but full of items. It's 2 pounds, 7 ounces. Whoa. Yeah. So it gets there. But I packed this a little bit fuller than I normally would. You guys know I don't really carry much. So I hope this was helpful. Let me pull out the other bags again so you can see kind of side by side the color differences. There you go. Just in case you were curious. Let me know if you want me to do any in-depth comparisons, like of these two or any other bag. I'm happy to do that. If you found this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoy this type of content, I would love for you to subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.